If you've been thinking about moving to this city, there's a few things you might want to consider. Here are 7 things you need to know before moving to Marietta, Georgia. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Victor. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in Georgia, and here are 7 things you need to know before moving to Marietta, Georgia. I love making these videos about my hometown, Marietta, Georgia, but more than that, I love helping people make their move to Marietta. If you're thinking about moving here, relocating here, feel free to call, text, email, anytime. I'm more than happy to help. I have tons of people calling me, texting me all the time, and my favorite thing in the world is helping people make that move to Marietta. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, homestead exemption. This is a tricky one for a lot of people. A lot of people think that because taxes come out in the middle of the year and taxes are due in October, that they can file for their homestead exemption in Marietta by October when taxes are due. But it always gets people off guard because really that application for homestead exemption is due April 1st. I know it got me when I first moved here, and I know it gets a lot of people. You got to remember April 1st is the deadline for homestead exemption. Homestead exemption is something that it tells the city that the home where you're living is your primary residence, and so you get a bit of a discount on your property taxes. Of course, every discount is huge, so you don't want to miss that deadline, April 1st. If you move into your home after April 1st, you can still file for homestead exemption. You have a certain amount of time, I think it's within 30 days, to get that homestead exemption for your property taxes for the following year. So don't forget homestead exemption, April 1st. Next on the list is rush hour traffic. Marietta is really located right around I-75, which is a main interstate to, among other cities, Atlanta. And so really if you live anywhere in Marietta, you can make it to I-75 within 10 to 15 minutes. That's great if you're needing to get somewhere quickly other than Marietta, but during rush hour traffic, you really need to take that into consideration when planning your route to wherever you're going. Rush hour, like most cities, is around 7 a.m. in the morning and then around 4 p.m. For people traveling back to Marietta. So rush hour would be from Marietta to Atlanta, which is Atlanta is south of Marietta. So the southbound lane of I-75 is usually pretty jam-packed in the morning with people going into Atlanta, and then in the afternoon or evenings, the northbound lane of I-75 is more packed going north from Atlanta, people driving back home to Marietta. Very common for people who live in Marietta to work in Atlanta. And so something to definitely take into consideration when living here is that rush hour traffic. You definitely need at least an additional 30 to 45 minutes depending on where in Atlanta you're traveling to if you're going to be using I-75 during rush hour. And now that I think about it, I actually made another video talking about different pros and cons of living in Marietta, and where I talked about the rush hour traffic in Marietta being kind of a negative part about living here. But be sure to check out that other video, pros and cons of living in Marietta, Georgia. Speaking of Atlanta, I think an important thing that people need to know when they're thinking about moving to Marietta is that Marietta is really just north of Atlanta. It's kind of hard for people who are moving here to really have an idea of where Marietta is in relation to Atlanta. A lot of times this may be a thing in your city where you live. People live in Marietta and somebody who's not necessarily from Georgia asks, hey, where do you live? We in Marietta will just say something like, oh, we live in Atlanta because we're so close to Atlanta. And so really Marietta is about 30 minutes north of Atlanta. Again, with rush hour traffic, it's more like an hour and 15 minutes to Atlanta. And so yeah, the city of Marietta is in Cobb County and the city of Atlanta is in Fulton County. And those two counties border each other, so we're really very close to each other. As I said, Marietta is in Cobb County, and Cobb County schools start pretty early, I think, compared to other cities in Georgia, certainly, and maybe even other cities in the country. Cobb County schools start August 2nd, at least this year in 2021. We started in August 2nd. For a lot of people, that may kind of trip you up if you're not used to such an early start. Typically, when people ask me, when they need to have things settled by, when they need to have been moved in by in order to make it for the start of the school year, when I tell them beginning of August, first week of August, they're usually very surprised. So that's certainly something to keep in mind when moving to Marietta, is that our school starts first week of August. This year it was August 2nd for public schools in Marietta. Okay, let's talk median home value. In Marietta, the median home value, the average home value, is about $325,000. Now, there's a wide range in Marietta. Obviously, not all the homes are around $325,000. That's really just the average. It ranges from $200,000 to into the millions. I mean, there are some condos, there are some homes right in downtown Marietta area that are in the millions. And so that's a big one to take into consideration when moving here is, yeah, there are a lot of homes around 300s, 350, but there are some homes that are in the lower price ranges and a lot of homes that are in the higher price ranges as well. Check out the video I made specifically about the different suburbs of Marietta and the average home values in those suburbs. I know I've said it before, but I can't stress it enough. The pollen here in Marietta is so bad. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. I mean, I think it's other people as well, but my seasonal allergies are pretty bad, and we have so much pollen here in Marietta. We have a lot of pine trees which produce pollen, and so in the springtime, when things are blooming, the amount of pollen is astronomical. The local news will literally talk about the pollen count because they apparently like counting the pollen. We have that much pollen here in Marietta and really all of Georgia. It will get all over everything. Cars will become yellow, the streets will become yellow, the pollen will get on your house. I mean, it will literally get on your clothes during the spring. And so if you have seasonal allergies and that's not something that you think you can deal with during the springtime, you might want to reconsider. We just have a ton of pollen and a ton of seasonal allergens here in Marietta. And lastly, one of my favorites is the farmer's market. The farmer's market is on Saturday mornings at Marietta Square. The local farmers and local vendors, people who hand make things, will come to the farmer's market, sell their goods. It's an awesome time to be out with people, which I know we haven't really done a lot of lately, but man, it feels great to be out with people and checking out the local goods. I mean, there's nothing like local produce, getting it from a farm that is in the area. It's awesome. It's a great time. Also, it's a great place to do your grocery shopping as well. Check out the local goods that some of the local vendors bring by. It's a great time. Definitely want to check that out. Again, that's Saturday mornings at the Marietta Square. It's just off of the square, but once you're at the square, you won't miss it. They have big white tents. You can just follow the crowds. That's where everyone will be. Marietta Farmers Market. Awesome. Definitely want to check that out. Hey, hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you're thinking about moving to Marietta, feel free to call, text, email anytime. I'm the one who answers the phone. I'm the one who answers the emails. I'm more than happy to help you make that move as easy as possible. See you on the next video.